Pushed the door open and ducked into the hallway. At 5'10", I'm not exactly tall, but I could see a few bumped heads were likely to be coming my way. My eyes attempted to compensate for the gloom as I fumbled for a light switch. My fingers located it just where it should have been, and I clicked it on. Nothing. Even repeated switching on and off had no effect. Damn. I pushed the door further open to allow maximum light, then fumbled my way to the kitchen. I only tripped over the cat once. The light from the front door failed to reach the kitchen, but my eyes were adjusting, and I could just make out the cupboard which held the mains switches. I pushed the trip switch. Still no lights, but a radio hissed and crackled into life from the next room. Woman's hour, by the sound of it, extolling the virtues of a home birth with an Indian head massage as an alternative to drugs. A bit more fumbling, another cat collision, and I finally found the light switch. The kitchen flooded with light. Well, maybe not flooded, but at least trickled. The 40-watt bulb pushed bravely at the shadows lurking in the corners of the kitchen. I'd half expected inch-thick dust and cobwebs everywhere, but the place was remarkably clean. The letting agents had insisted I pay for a regular cleaning service to keep the place attractive for potential tenants. I'd always thought I was being taken for a ride, but maybe not. I found the cause of the gloom. The bright June morning was being defeated by green wooden shutters on the outside of the kitchen window. I reached across the sink, unlatched the window, and pushed at the shutters. They didn't move. Either age had embedded the catches, or they were fastened from the outside. The cat slinked in and out of my feet, giving short meows followed by loud purrs. I glanced down, and the luminescent green eyes caught my soul, demanding I do something with the empty silver cat bowl near my feet. My eyes scanned the room looking for anything I could drop into the bowl to keep this creature quiet, so I could continue my explorations. I noticed a carton with a picture of a happy cat on it, and emptied some of the contents into the bowl. The eyes looked at the bowl, then back at me. They blinked in and out of existence a couple of times. "Don't ask me," I said. "That's all there is." The anti-cat seemed to understand and started crunching at the food. I turned my attention back to the window. I needed to let some light and fresh air into this place. I made my way back to the front door, switching on lights as I went. The path to the rear of the property was completely overgrown, and I had to do battle with brambles and stinging nettles before I finally located the kitchen window. The shutters were latched on the outside by a small wooden lever. I swung the shutters open, then headed back round to the front, opening two other sets of shutters on the way. There was no sign of the cat when I returned to the kitchen, but the bowl was empty, and the kitchen was still in gloom. I stared at the window, not quite understanding. The shutters were still closed. "Idiot!" I cursed. I must have opened the wrong shutters. Another battle with the garden, and I found my way back to the window I'd mistaken for the kitchen. I wondered to which room this window belonged and peered inside. It was the kitchen. That didn't make any sense. I looked again. Maybe there were two kitchens? No, it was the same kitchen, complete with one black cat staring at me from the worktop. Perhaps the shutters had swung shut in the wind or something. I pushed the shutters back against the wall and located them in their securing clips. I returned to the kitchen, only to find the gloom remained and the shutters still in place. If I didn't have a certificate in my suitcase from the Ealing Psychotherapy Centre testifying to my sanity, I would have been having severe doubts about it now. As it was, the niggly voices whispered at the door of my preconscious. They spoke of goblins. Grasping my sanity in a sudden act of decisiveness, I pushed hard at the window, forcing the catch on the shutters to give. The windows and shutters swung open, and daylight poured into the room. I peered cautiously through the window, half expecting to see some teenage hoodie with a peculiar sense of humour, or at the very least a leprechaun or something. The garden was peaceful and apparently leprechaun-free. The wind. Of course that was it. Just the wind. I'd heard Somerset was windy. I went through the rest of the cottage, forcing open the windows and shutters in each room. Sunlight followed me as I went from room to room, chasing